Hey everyone, and welcome to Food Farms and Chefs. I have the esteemed pleasure to introduce you to a restaurateur who wears many hats, who is a James Beard Award winner at this point. So, congratulations to that. But Trevor, you are the owner of Corinne's Place in Camden, New Jersey, obviously. So, how did you get into this business?
Um, Hi, my name is Trevor. Thank you for having me on your show. Um, well, I got into the business, Miss Corinne, the founder, who started it. I adopted her as my mom, and in 2019, she felt that it was time for her to kind of step back a little bit, and she wanted me to step up more and help move the business and bring it to the next level, which she did a tremendous job of bringing it to the level she did. That her 34 years of the work that she's put in. So at that point, she basically, moved into more of the founder brand ambassador position. And I kind of moved into her position on the day to day. She's still active on the day to day in the business. You still go out by the restaurant, you'll still see her there. She's still there whipping people into shape and making sure that, everything gets done to her standard.
Yeah, and it's very important to mention the fact that, she founded this place originally in 1989, and built it off of not having any backup finances, not having anything that you normally would walk into, that people, financiers and entrepreneurs are like, make sure when you own a business, you walk in and you have backup money and you have this. And she opened it up and became a huge success. You
Mm.
know, as a woman in Camden, like in an area that isn't quite known for like so many stories. And I don't mean to say that in any kind of negative way, because I know that you are also playing a hand in trying to build up the community. And we'll get to that too. But she built this and built it off of originally with a degree in sociology, where she was helping out young people. And then she just continued to do so throughout her restaurant entrepreneurism too.
And still does, still it's something, it's second nature to her to always want to help, always want to give to the community. She has a giving heart. And people, that's what made her so strong over these 30 plus years, is the fact of how she took care of community, and community came back and took care of her. I still tell her till this day, word of mouth is still what builds this business. We could do as much things on social media, we could do as much marketing, but it's still the word of mouth that keeps the business going. It keeps new customers coming in daily.
Yeah. Now, and not only word of mouth, but also how delicious it is, because her food, this isn't the first time she's been highlighted or gotten some sort of accolades from somebody who has a large name. In this particular case, it was James Beard. But in previous years, she's had some highly notable people who have eaten at her establishment. And, I would love it if you bragged, because I think it would be more fun if you bragged about who she's brought in, but you know
It's definitely a staple for the city of Camden. And, we do get a lot of folks come in, from athletes to entertainers to actors, who when they come to the city, or they go even to the city of Philly, and they ask what's a good place to get food, and everyone always refers them to us. So, definitely, the food definitely draws a lot of attention to the place, as well as Miss Corinne. And we're thankful for all the exposure that we've gotten from the James Beard Award. But yeah, to your point, she has gotten a lot of acclimates throughout the years. One of the food critics, Craig Laban from Philly, he's one of he's been writing about Miss Corinne for the last 20 plus years, and they've never met. So they've met recently when he was the one who presented her with the James Beard Award. So yeah, we're thankful for all the blessings that come our way. Most people, Miss Corinne always says, most people have to go and spend a lot of money to get marketing dollars and but we just get the recognition, and we're thankful for it.
yeah. And I mean, I know that she also was visited by, I believe, Danny Glover was one of the actors that visited her place, you know, because he was filming in Philadelphia, and he did, like you said, he asked around like, where is the best place to get fried chicken, or comfort food, and somebody told him Corinne's place, across the bridge. And so he visited you guys, and I believe Corinne wasn't actually in the store when he initially arrived.
Um, I don't know the full story behind that. I wish she was here to tell us the story, because I'm sure she could tell a better job than I can of that day in particular. But I do remember hear them speaking about it, and she wasn't there. But I think at some point she did get there, and I think they did meet. I know we have pictures with her and him. But the full story of that backline behind that day, I'm not too fully aware of the whole story, how it went down.
All right. So
So
I was just gonna say our co-host Gene Blum also joined us, so he probably has some questions for you too.
more comments than questions. Having been at Corinne's many times, a couple things that truly stand out to me as a chef and as a food person who has traveled extensively to try different foods. The two things that stand out, obviously location. And we're going to say, people will always say, well, you're located in Camden, or you're more towards Haddonfield, or, you are situated dead center, Cadden Avenue, in the heart of Camden. And at one point in time, an area that was really hit by, the blight of, the economy and other factors. And you just became that cornerstone because of the consistent quality, good food, which leads to good feelings. So that's my comment and compliment to you. But you guys do, I mean, truly, the smothered chicken and the Cajun wings do you guys do. But the thing that strikes me, and everybody does this or attempts to do it when they do Southern or soul food, they try to do, fried fish. And you guys have taken, I don't know if it's your breading or the love that you put into it, but the catfish, the tilapia, the porgy, and the whiting, all of them are just sensational. You seem to be able to bring out the best flavors of fish that otherwise people would, oh, I don't have any interest in that. It's not striped bass, it's not tuna, it's not whatever. And I'll get into the salmon croquettes later, but what is it about the breading or the style that you can really just bring out amazing flavors in your fish?
Well, definitely, if Miss Quinn was here, she'll tell you it's the love that they put in when they're seasoning and when they're cooking it. That's a major ingredient, is the love. But we use different style batters when we bread our fish. We have an egg wash where we wash it and then we dip it. So it's definitely a formula to it, and it's time consuming because we have a crew that has to come in every morning and start prepping the fish fresh, start breading it fresh. So everything is done fresh daily in the restaurant. And we pride ourselves on that, of keeping everything, with a 24-hour freshness. So we don't serve anything within 24 hours, everything within 24 hours. We either send out to the seniors or to homeless. We get it out the building and to somewhere else. But, that's one of the main things, is keeping it within 24-hour freshness. And, we do have a little special thing we do with our batter to get that flavor and taste. And I'm a big fan of the whiting fish myself, so I know exactly what you're saying. People talk. I know exactly. It gives you a taste, and that's what we wanted with the fish, is to give you a taste that made you actually want to come back for more. To get that familiar taste of that fish, and just say, you know what, I got to go get some Corinne's fish.
Well, and then we go on to some of the other wonderful things you guys do. I mean, I love your smothered pork chops as well. Your fried pork chops are great. But Cajun pig's feet. So I grew up, my mother was, Polish and Lithuanian, and always had a jar of pig's feet in the kitchen. And as a child, that was a bit traumatic. But I grew up to enjoy them over time. But you guys take it to that next level by doing it Cajun style. And then, we'll talk about the oxtail in a minute, but tell us a little bit about the Cajun style pig's feet.
Well, yeah, actually a rub that's done, so we use a Cajun rub to season the pig feet, and that kind of gives you that Cajun flavor taste on the pig feet, which makes it a little different than normal pig feet. So it's this, it's a Cajun rub that Miss Corinne has, which we use on the turkey wings as well. It's different, so within a few of our dishes, you might find a Cajun rub that gives it that nice little flavor. It's not hot, spicy, just nice little Cajun taste to it.
And the fact that you do oxtail, so few places are willing to take on doing oxtail. You'll see it, oftentimes you'll see it in Philadelphia on food trucks. You'll find it in a very specialized market. I know, and in Temple University, they have a truck that does oxtail, but you guys do an amazing oxtail, and probably one of the more expensive things on your menu because it's gone up in price. It's such a specialty item, but do you get a lot of demand for that? Is that one of your better selling dishes?
It is. It does sell a lot, and for a period of time when COVID first started, we had to take it off the menu because of how pricey it got, and we just felt like it was, it'd be hard to charge our customers, so we took that off the menu for a while, for almost a year, and then we put it back on the menu, and it was just by popular demand. People kept asking, where are the oxtails? Where are the oxtails? And we're trying to say that the price of what it is to pay for oxtails be too much for us to pass on to the customer. Plus, also at the same time, we're known for the portions of food that we give out. So, we can't, stray away from what we're known for. So, we chose not to do it, but everyone kept asking. And when we brought it back out, it still, they were happy. They paid the price, and it sells. It is one of our top sellers. Cajun turkey wings is the top seller though. But, the oxtails is one of the next top sellers that we do sell at the restaurant.
Now,
you touched upon your portion sizes, which is truly something that, to be seen. What I love about that is people who come in to the restaurant. Sometimes you'll go to places where they have big portion sizes, and a husband and wife will come in and they'll split a dinner. Not something we see when I was there. I didn't see any of that. People were coming in, 2 or 3 people, and everybody would order something. And sure, they would have enough for probably another meal because you guys do have a really generous portion style. But it's not that you, as you said, it's the love of the community giving back, and they're like, you know what, we're going to go in and we're going to spend money. And she's been great to us for all these years. She's been a staple of the community, and you touched upon it. The good feeling that you get when you're at Corinne's is the reason that you've been in business as long as you have. It's not $1 million marketing. It's not a gimmick. It's not anything. It is that good feeling. So, kudos to you, your team, to Miss Corinne herself, finally getting the accolades on a national level that she deserves.
Yeah, thank God for that. We were very thankful.
I want to touch base also because one of your popular items, and it's something that I crave all the time, is mac and cheese. And I mean, I feel like, yes, mac and cheese is something that like all ages love. But it's like one of those things that you guys are also known for is your mac and cheese, along with your fried chicken and and your turkey wings and everything else. But like, I mean, how often, like, how craveable is it that, people come in and they love your sides too, your mac and cheese, your collard greens, your
Candy yams.
Huh?
Candy yams.
Yeah, your candy yams, like all of the sides that go along with, the proteins and whatnot, because it's very filling and very nourishing.
No, and a lot of our sides are made fresh daily. So we have a team in the back pulling greens, cutting greens, cabbage. So everything is done freshly in the back. Mac and cheese, yeah, it is one of our popular sides. It's rich, the way I call it, because of all of the products that goes into making the mac and cheese, the different cheeses, the milk. There's and even during COVID, that was, something that we had to even question just based on dairy going up and the prices, just based on the ingredients we put in it. We had to struggle with that. And, it's been a struggle just because of the pandemic and where prices have gone, and us, not compromising on the quality or, our brand as far as what the, our customers are used to. And, keep in mind, we have customers that are 34 years strong coming to Corinne's. So they know the food, so they'll know if something is not right or something is off. They'll be the first one to call and tell you, hey, this is not right, and sometimes it comes down to, maybe certain ingredients were not available, or, so we had to kind of, improvise to get it close to, but the consistency is one of the things that we pride ourselves on, is making sure we're consistent with all the food that we give to the community, whether it's from the proteins to the sides. We have as you would mention, the candy yams, the string beans, the collard greens, the cabbage, and we have a cabbage and green mix. We do also a medley where we have okra, corn, and tomatoes. So, we have a wide variety of different sides that, people come, all over. Sometimes people just come there just to order sides. They don't even want proteins. They just want mac and cheese, or they just want candy yams, and we sell them in different size portions. So we allow people to get it, whether it's someone personal, or for a group of 6, or for larger parties, so all our sides and all our meats are available based on, the customer need, or whatever they're looking to, whether gathering they're looking to have people at.
Exactly. And, and based on the comment of gathering, now I know she's actually opened up in the previous years, on Sundays, because faith is something that is a strong thing for Corinne. And I assume that, you followed suit with some of what she's done in the past. And Sundays, she kind of opens up and has almost a huge gathering of anybody who has gone to church, and that little side yard, you guys opened it up with that as an opportunity for people to gather together. So throughout the pandemic, you were doing that as well, which you're not, obviously you're utilizing the highest quality ingredients, but that also is going to draw people to you too.
Yeah, definitely. So I always tell Miss Corinne, she might not have got a degree in business, but, the Sunday thing that she put together was definitely ingenious, on many levels when it comes to business. But her reasoning for doing it, when she tells the story, was that, as we know, her struggle when she first started and making ends meet, it was hard, it was a struggle for her. So she created this thing on Sundays where you could come in and get up to 5 sides, and 5 meats for one set price, and definitely marketing with the churches and the local businesses. They will come in on Sundays and patronize her. And what that will do, she would actually pay her bills from Sundays, because during the week it was slow. So she looked forward to the Sundays where people will pour in just to get these 5 sides and these 5 meats for a set price. And it also allowed the community to try, so if someone came in just for one particular dish during the week, they could come in and try up to 5 different sides and 5 different meats. So now they'll be able to get familiar with all the different food that we serve there. So years later, we still do it. We still honor it. It's a little, back when she started, it might have been $12. I think we're up to about $20 now. But people still pour in on Sundays. We have lines down the block, starting at 12 o'clock, where people, coming from church, and they'll line up to come and get this 5 sides, 5 meats. And to your point, so when the governor allowed us to go outside and adopt a lot, there was a lot next door to us, which we adopted. We cleaned it up, built an outside area, which we christened Miss Corinne's Oasis, which we allowed people to come in and still be able to still dine in with us. Had different events like bands and DJs and different things to keep the community active during COVID, and have a place for them to go and just have a moment while we were going through that horrific time in life. So yeah, the Oasis was pretty big for us, and it's still there. People still pour in there and go out there and hang out there.
Which is great. Now, time flies when you're having fun. We're having a great conversation. But unfortunately, we have to let you go for the time being. We'd love to have you back, but let our listeners know how to find you online and in person.
Okay, we're at Corinne's Place, www.corinnesplace.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram, Corinne's Place. And we're located at 1254 Haddon Avenue, right there in the heart of Camden, New Jersey.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Trevor. And we hope to have you back on soon. But for now, we will go to a commercial break and we will be right back.
Okay.
Thanks, Trevor.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Food Farms and Chefs. I have the honor and prestige of introducing all of you to Michelle, who is the VP of Marketing and Communications for Center City District Restaurant Week. And joining us to talk about Restaurant Week and what it is and what we can look forward to.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
So, Michelle, Center City Restaurant Week has been going on for, quite a number of years. And I remember when it first started, I want to say there was probably 20 restaurants really that signed on the first year. It wasn't that many. And it was a lot of the big players in the industry and all. And you and your team and have really taken Center City Restaurant Week and turned it into something that's available for people to try, little new startups, mom and pops, as well as the big name restaurants and all. So to start off with, how many restaurants are participating this year?
So first, before I go to that, I will tell you, Jean, it was 33 restaurants that we had the very first year, very time around. So you were very close in that number. I just remember it because it was 33 in 2003. But this year, this winter, we are thrilled to have 90 restaurants participating, which is the most that we've had participating since prior to the pandemic. So we're very excited that that's a barometer of the health and vitality of our restaurants in Center City, and just so happy to be able to share all of those with the public.
I mean, it really is. And for our public, for the people to know who or may not know what Center City Restaurant Week is, it's an opportunity. Restaurants offer different specialties, usually a multiple course, set price menu where you can go in and, sample something that, you may have been a little reluctant to before, or when making a choice saying, well, I'm not sure of this place, so I'm going to go to my staple. Here is this great opportunity to go in and, kind of step out of your comfort zone or try something new, or just go in and have a wonderful date. And if I could, make the suggestion to our listeners, why not like a week of dates? Because this is really a great opportunity to enjoy great dining in the city of Philadelphia. So that being said, tell us a little bit about how what goes into recruiting and making this all happen.
Well, once again, Jean, you're spot on. Restaurant Week was started nearly 20 years ago with the purpose of being able to cement Center City's position as the destination for fine dining in the region. And that's not to minimize the dozens of wonderful restaurants that we have regionally. We are so blessed. But there is no one destination that offers the variety and the quality of cuisine that Center City does. So that was the original purpose. As you stated, it's a minimum 3-course meal for $40 for dinner and $25 for lunch, not including tax, tip, or any cocktails you might have. But it really is an opportunity for people to come out and try a restaurant that maybe they were hesitant because, it's a little more money usually than they would spend. But this time during restaurant week, you get to try some of the best restaurants in Center City for dinner for $40. So what goes into recruiting our restaurants? Well, a lot of work and a fairly small team that does it. But we reach out to our restaurants several months in advance to let them know the dates of restaurant week and give them an opportunity to sign up. Then they are, once they've signed up, we continue to follow up with them. They need to submit their menu to us. We review the menus to make sure that the $40 meal meets a $50 value, and that they've met all the requirements. Our job at Center City District is to ensure that across all 90 restaurants, you're going to get the same level of quality and service, and that everybody is doing everything they're supposed to do. So it's a little bit of herding cats, but it's very talented cats, and it's a whole lot of value for our customer, and also a really great opportunity for exposure, make money for our restaurants.
It's funny. I have to laugh when you said it's a little bit of herding cats, because I grew up in the restaurant industry in Philadelphia and in the suburbs and in the catering world and the special events world. And you were so spot on when you said that. I had a chuckle to myself, because we really are. We can be very creative individuals, but things like getting paperwork back and things like that, always not one of our strengths. So yes, congratulations on the hard work you do here. But I need to clarify something for our listeners that's very important. Center City Restaurant Week is not 7 days. It's a little bit longer than 7 days. It began on the 15th and is running until the 28th. So, there's well, I can't fit that in a week. You know what? You can fit in a week's worth of dates over the course of 13 days. You can make that happen. I know you can, because I certainly will be. So, it's a great opportunity. And one of the things that's so fun is you go to the website and you look at these restaurants, and you go down and you can, okay, let me find 5 that I've never been to that I want to try. And, you get a quarter of the way in, and you're like, well, I got 5, and I'm only a quarter of the way in. And, now it's become, where am I going to go? Do I want to go for lunch? Do I want to go for dinner? And, planning it as a consumer is so exciting. It's something to look forward to and really get, excited about. So, you really do create this, incredible dining experience and food experience for the city of Philadelphia.
Well, that's certainly our intention. And, I think particularly the winter restaurant week, we're coming out of the holidays. Christmas is over, Hanukkah's over, all the holidays are over. And what are we left with? Cold weather and a little bit of a ho-hum. But restaurant week is a great opportunity to get your friends together, to go out, socialize, you know, create some fun, help out our restaurants, and boost your mood. Um, it's a fun time. It's a budget-wise time, and it's good for everybody all around. Maybe not your waistline, but everything else.
A couple of the other things that are important for people to realize that you guys have brought about and did a wonderful job at this. Not only did you get all these restaurants, but you've gone to people, and I'm going to include the infamous Philadelphia Parking Authority, and you have arranged for discounted parking at many lots throughout the city. You have got restaurants now that do takeout as part of this whole thing. So you really have, spread the opportunity for people to enjoy. Maybe, I have to get home every day because, I have kids to take care of or whatever, but you can now grab, a meal to go, or you're going in town and, we're coming out of the holidays. I don't want to spend $25 for parking, but you can spend $9 because Center City Restaurant Week and your organization has arranged with those parking lots and the parking authority to do that. So kudos to you for that. That's you really made this. You took away all the barriers. There's nothing else to be said. Just go, enjoy.
Well, thank you for all your generous compliments. First of all, we love our parking authority and we love our other parking operators. They have been offering discounted parking for this promotion since the very beginning, back in the early 2000s. So we thank them so much for their support, because it is important, and it's important for your listeners to know that they should go on to the website and check out what participating facilities, parking facilities, are near their restaurant. So please pre-plan for parking. Make sure unfortunately, every once in a while we've had somebody go into a facility that's not a participating facility. So they should have signs out, but make your life easy and check on the website. There's a map there that lists all the participating facilities, and see which one is closest to your restaurant. It'll make everybody's life easier. But yes, they have been generous sponsors of this for a very long time. As for the takeout, that is something that we started during the pandemic. We never canceled Restaurant Week, even during the pandemic. We simply tried to make it as inclusive and easy for our restaurants and our customers to partake. So when inside dining wasn't allowed, we did takeout, we did outdoor dining, and those things have, with many restaurants, stuck. And people, still for a variety of reasons may prefer to do takeout. And there are many of our restaurants that still do offer that. So it really was, as you said, about really eliminating all the barriers we could, both for our restaurant proprietors, our service help, and our customers, of course.
And little things that have come about since the beginning 20 years ago, and watching the natural evolution of Restaurant Week, which is been such a wonderful thing is, now so many restaurants, you have sponsors for signature cocktails, and people are doing signature cocktails at their restaurants as well that you can get recipes for. The dining apps such as Open Table, people like that are jumping right on board, and they have, entire sections on their site now dedicated to restaurant week. So if that's what you want to go to, you go. If you're an Open Table person, you could just click on Open Table and find all those restaurants. So it is really just a simple, painless, enjoyable, great opportunity to do different restaurants that you haven't tried, ones that are just coming onto the market. There's a lot of relatively new restaurants on there, as well as amazing staples that have been, Bridget Foy's is on there, other people are on there that have been around for a long time. So, you get opportunities to, really see what's out there and sample that, and, at lunch or dinner.
Well, and you bring up Open Table and the Beam brand. They have been sponsors of ours also for many, many years. And we couldn't do Restaurant Week without their support. So yes, we are thrilled to be able to highlight our sponsor liquors and our Open Table, our reservation partner. And they've just been very supportive throughout the time that we've been doing Restaurant Week.
One of the things I heard this a long time ago, and I had to laugh at it because I had enough knowledge, and I do Restaurant Week every year. I do multiple restaurants every year for Restaurant Week, and you get people, well, they just trim down their menus, they do this or they do that, and there's no truth in that. It's usually a little bit of a smaller portion, but you're going to places, you're getting top of the line seafood. You can go to Morton's, and you can get incredible meal opportunities, and it's not like they took off the filet and they're putting on chicken. No, they're creating a menu of their food. They want you to come back and be a guest, and that's not going to happen if you're not getting what they're known for. So these restaurants are serving what they serve day in, day out. They're just creating special menus that are tasty menus to go with that. This is not we're taking certain things off the menu. This is, we're making the portion affordable and getting you in and giving you a dining experience. So, anybody, those critics who always said, well, this is all a gimmick. It is not. It is. I know many of the chefs who are creating the menus, they put a lot of time and effort into this, and they're very proud of what's going on. And they're very proud of being part of Restaurant Week.
Well, and we, as I mentioned earlier, we do as much quality control as we can. And, if we see a menu coming in and it's not something they typically have on their menu, we say to them, this makes no sense. You don't want to put something on your Restaurant Week menu that you don't typically serve and then have a customer love it, come back, and be disappointed to find out that you don't typically serve it. Makes absolutely no sense in the world. So we do try, if we see something like that, we coach our restaurants to, we want this to be a good experience for everyone, the restaurants included. And we want to see people come back and create new return customers. And we do. And that is why we do, because we're very, again, trying to make this the best experience for everyone.
For our listeners, as we're winding down on time here and have to to get off this in just a couple minutes, but you know, just some of the cuisines, and I know I'm not going to get them all here, but I remember looking through the menus that I was looking through. I know you can get, traditional American, you can get Asian, and you get Indian. You certainly get South American. You get Italian, Mediterranean as well. You get French, you get Cuban. You get all these, and I know like places. I'm excited. I'm going down to Spice Finch, one of the participants.
Great.
Been there before. I'm really excited about being able to go in and try a menu that chef put together for that. They're one of my favorite restaurants, but so many cuisines are available as part of this, and I probably missed a few in there, but really a great opportunity. So if people were interested in finding out more, Michelle,
Yes.
where to go to get this information?
Our website is ccdrestaurantweek.com. And there they'll find a list of participating restaurants. They can search it alphabetically. They can search it by cuisine. And the menus, for the people that have submitted menus, we really encourage them to submit the menu so we can put it up on the website, because people do plan around those menus. And then they'll be able to find the cocktails you mentioned, and also the list of parking facilities. So it's pretty much all there. And for the restaurants that are participants of Open Table, you can click on to the restaurant and click through to Open Table and make your reservation right there.
Well, and I'm so happy you have Knob Creek as one of your sponsors this year. They're rye whiskey. I'm a brown whiskey, or I'm a brown spirits person, so I'm really excited about that. I'm going to probably do 5 different brown whiskey cocktails over the course of the week. But thank you for all you do, what your team is doing, and if you ever switch to needing quality assurance people that are boots on the ground, trust me, Emrys and I will be right there to help you. I do it every year anyway. I'm in trying all your restaurants, and I always discover a couple hidden gems. So thank you for what you do. Again,
Thank
to our Center City Restaurant Week, it is open now. It runs, it's a total of 13 days, or 14 days actually, 15th to 28th. Get down there, try some new restaurants.
Make a reservation.
Yep, make a reservation, because you will need to do that. They do fill up, but get in there. Lunch, dinner, takeout, it's worth it. Trust me.
Thank you, Gene. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michelle. Great having you on.
Thank you, Michelle. And we will be right back after this short break. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Food Farms and Chefs. And we have Chef Michael Brenfleck, who is the executive chef at Spice Finch, who they are one of the participating restaurants. We just heard from Michelle talking about Center City District Restaurant Week. Chef Michael, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Chef, so let's start off with a little bit about, for our listeners, Spice Finch, if for our listeners don't know, is a really great Mediterranean influenced bar and kitchen. With just absolutely fabulous creative flavors. Obviously you have the huge hand in what's coming out of there and driving force behind that. So tell our listeners a little bit about your background, how you got into being a chef, a little bit of the education, and just your quick 1-minute resume.
Sure. So I am from Allentown, Pennsylvania originally. I went to Penn State for restaurant management, and then decided I definitely wanted to go to culinary school, which I did back home in Bethlehem. Kind of after that, decided I wanted to take the jump, move to the big city, and find a job there, where I did at Distrito out in West Philly. Ended up working in Mexican food for quite a while, and then kind of wanted to make a change, do something a little bit different, and saw the opening at Spice Finch, and it's kind of been my home all throughout COVID, although I did spend a little bit more time in our other sister restaurant, which happens to be Mexican as well, when Spice Finch was closed. But other than that, I've been a lot of fun kind of learning about this cuisine and, you know, all the different places that we get inspired from on the Mediterranean. So that's been really, really cool. And obviously learning a lot from Chef Jen there too. So yeah, that's kind of me in a nutshell, I guess.
Well, now that stop for a second. You came from Allentown. That's a big city. I know Billy Joel sang about it. So
He did. I think he was actually singing about Bethlehem though, but he just
yes.
thought Allentown
But
sounded better.
he's thinking about the steel mill. That's correct.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, as the son of a steel worker, I understand that completely. So, so Center City Restaurant Week obviously opened up. We're in the middle of it. Tell our listeners a little bit about the menu that you created for Center City Restaurant Week this year.
Right. So we actually pulled a lot from our current menu. So we're really looking to kind of, you know, really showcase what Spice Finch is all about, you know, with that, you know, added value of it being restaurant week. So we actually, most restaurants are doing 3 courses. We're actually doing 4, which is pretty cool. So we're starting you out with our house-made dips and spreads, along with some accoutrement. We get you some crisps and some vegetable crudité. Then you have a choice of a starter, a choice of an entree, and then dessert. So you're getting, you know, the full-fledged Spice Finch experience by you know, coming in and doing the restaurant week menu. I can kind of go through every item on the menu if you'd like, or
No. That's one of the things that I was looking through your menu for it, and I love that you start off with the mezzi, and I'm a big fan of that. I think it's a really, really wonderful thing to do, but the flavor is really the you do a broccoli tabbouleh that is just like, wow, I have to come in just to try that now. Like your menu, the chickpea wedges, things like that just drew me in to where, okay, I may not get the Spice Finch for Restaurant Week. I will be honest, because I can only get 5 days or 6 days in, and having been to Spice Finch before, but you look at this, it's like, oh, I gotta go back. Look at all this stuff on the menu. I gotta go try this stuff. How much time? Like, when do you start planning your menu and looking at all that for doing this?
For restaurant week, we kind of a couple of months out. We kind of know it's coming. It's going to be a big deal for us, and we're going to definitely be a little bit busier than we're used to. So we kind of take the time to like really look at our menu. What's good, like I said, what's going to showcase us the best. What's going to be the most efficient for a little bit busier service, without losing out on all of our flavors. And that's kind of, so we kind of just try and hit all of the benchmarks. The tabbouleh is definitely one thing that's kind of our signature, that you had mentioned, and that is on our menu. That's one of the options for the first course. Yeah, and then the star of the show is obviously going to be our whole fish. So that's a fun one. So everybody has the option to choose to get a whole fish, which as you might expect, a lot of people do. So we cook a lot of fish during restaurant week, but we're used to it at this point. It's a lot of fun. People love it, love the value of it, and you get that the taste, something that's normally like that's a big commitment if you come to the restaurant. It's a market price fish with all the accoutrement, but this we get a slightly smaller version. It's not it's still a whole fish, but again, you get to try that at the restaurant week price, which is cool.
One of the very cool things you have on the menu, the appetizers, is your blistered peppers. So the taquitos, but if that wasn't enough for you, then we're gonna turn it in and add a little harissa to it as well.
Absolutely.
But you balance that out really well with some tahini too. That's gonna just really make it rich and flavorful and keep that going. It's a wonderful true Mediterranean flavor. I looked through and the whole fish is certainly an amazing item, and I recommend that anybody go down and look at that and make you cook even more fish. But your desserts, even the fact that you're doing a tahini brownie, or that you have the date truffles, like really reflects the flavors and the quality of the work. And like I was saying in the last interview, this is not a bunch of restaurants trying to come up with a gimmick. This is, we want these people in and bringing back and realizing what we do. And, that type of food really reflects that. So, kudos to you on that.
Thank you.
What is your favorite thing on the menu?
Well, so actually, it's the lamb merguez, which is available on the restaurant menu as one of the entrees. I just love making sausage in general, and this one is really, really good and has a lot of flavor. We use our harissa, which we make in house, and then just lots of herbs and aromatics and different spices. And then we grind it in house. It's really, really, really tasty, and we serve it with a tomato jam. That we spent a lot of effort on too, cooking down tomatoes for a really long time in the oven, and then cooking that with some vinegar and some ginger and garlic, and then just a little acidic little salsa on top as well. Kind of heavily Spanish influenced, obviously, and that's the cool thing about us is you're going to see influences from all over, but that one happens to be one of my favorites, being on the Spanish side.
Tell me a little bit about, because I'm curious on this one. I know Amaris is as well. The date truffles.
Mhm.
What's that all about?
So it's really cool. It's kind of unique. It's supposed to be like a chocolate truffle, except no chocolate. And we actually just take a whole medjool date, which are they got packed with a lot of sugar, really, really soft and flavorful and delicious. We kind of let them sit a little bit at room temperature, so they're just a little bit softer. And then we roll it in super acidic pomegranate molasses, and then again in some cashew streusel, and then just finish it with some lime zest and a little bit of sea salt too, which is just kind of, you get like all the senses, all the flavors come alive in this one little bite too. So it's kind of a cool little thing.
Okay, maybe I have to rethink Restaurant Week and Spice Finch and try to fit it in there someplace. As you just described that, it has my mouth watering. I'll tell you what, whoever does you have two signature cocktails, both of them phenomenal. But I also love that, again, you went above and beyond. So you do an optional wine pairing, but it's a
Yep.
2-course pairing. It's not just you get a glass of wine, it's paired, it's a 2-course pairing. So, congratulations on that. It's well thought out, but the fact that you created, one of my favorite cocktails in the whole world is Cesar's, which, the Knob Creek Rye and the cognac, but then the cardamom bitters and combined with the little absinthe as well. Really cool take. I have to come down and have one because it is my favorite cocktail in the world. One that's really overrated, but a lot of thought put in from the beverage manager as well. So do you and him sit, or do you and her, whoever your beverage manager is, sit down and say, what are we going to do to accent, or is this something that's on the menu normally?
Well, I think our beverage manager, Megan, she puts a lot of thought and effort into the cocktail. She'll definitely kind of, bounce some ideas off of me, and, if, she needs any type of ingredients ordered or anything kind of, prepped, she'll ask me to help out with that. But she, definitely does a really great job of putting all of those, little touches together to make, cocktails really unique and special. And definitely the one that we have for Restaurant Week is definitely no different. And we'll probably go really good with a tahini brownie. I feel like you're describing it. I was like, that's a good dessert drink, it sounds like to me.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. And, when you add into that, the cardamom bitters and the tahini brown. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, right?
100%. Now I gotta okay. I have to rethink my whole week now going on to this.
So sorry to complicate your life.
That's okay. You did it in a great way. So aside from Restaurant Week, how has business been coming out of COVID and moving forward in 2023 and beyond? How's everything going down there at Spice Week or at Spice Finch?
It's been great, actually. We had a couple of really great weeks in the new year here, kind of unexpectedly, like kind of just thinking, all right, we're going to get ready for Restaurant Week. It's going to be slow. It's the new year. Everybody's kind of sitting at home, relaxing, doing their New Year's resolution thing. But that hasn't been the case. We actually, I had a couple of really good weekends. And I even noticed that there's a lot of people out and about walking home on Saturday night too. So people are definitely out. People are excited to be out. They're used to being in. And I think that's the the change, and we've been experiencing some good upswing from that too. So that's been really cool.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the weather has cooperated with us a lot.
Mhm.
Where I'm at here in Bucks County, we have a brewery here that I'm part of as well, and I've seen that the last couple weekends. More and more new people coming out and coming into the brewery, and families even coming in, and just been not what I expected for the first couple weeks in January when, okay, we're coming out, people are going to try to save a little bit of money after the holiday,
Right.
kind of make their resolutions. God bless them in their resolutions. It doesn't seem like any of them are food and drink related, so I'm happy to hear that. But it's been a good year so far, I think, for our industry as well. So, talking about the Philadelphia restaurant scene, you're from the area, I'd say, the Lehigh Valley, things like that. What do you think the big difference is, you know, from Philadelphia to other cities that makes Philadelphia such a culinary mecca? What do I have my thoughts on why we stand out as a food city, but what are yours?
I think it's this really like strong willingness by people in Philadelphia to try new things and to try different types of cuisines, ones they're not familiar with. You're going to get that in New York or San Francisco. There's going to be a wide variety of things, but I think that's just by sheer volume of people. But Philadelphia is kind of a small city in a way, and I think we probably have a larger. I mean, I'm speculating. I can't say this factually that a larger percentage of ethnic restaurants than most cities would. And I think that's the biggest thing that or people are drawn to. With the Zahav obviously being what it is, and then you have Kalea, just like it's not that like fine dining necessarily, like tasting menu thing that you see. It's really all about the cuisine and the food and the flavors. And I think that one thing is what I think makes Philly so special in what it has to offer.
That's it. It's very funny because I love that answer because it to me you right on, and I really never looked at it that way. I always approach it from the culinary talent we get where people come out of CIA or Johnson Wales and they all want to be in New York because of that, and then they try to live there and realize they can't afford it. So we get some people coming down, but then we also get the local culinary schools, which there are so many of them, that produce great talent because of the blue collar, hardworking, middle class environment that we came from, as well as products around here. You came from Lehigh Valley, so the farms out that way as well as poultry, and then we go down to Delmarva, and we got the Chesapeake Bay, and we got so many farms in Bucks County and great products all around. I always thought that we have this really cool spot for talent and food right here, within a short distance. You can get really great product, but you just really did touch on something unique. We are a group of people. We have a great foodie community in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
We really do, and it's wonderful to see. So, anything new on the horizon for Spice Finch, or new menu for the spring? What do we got on the
yeah, we're definitely working on some new items, some new entrees that we're looking to kind of add to the menu within the next month or two. And then just just the general revamping, trying to keep things fresh as always is something, without of course losing our our mainstays, our staples. They're never gonna go anywhere, but we definitely like to try and try out different things. There's so much that the Mediterranean, just calling a restaurant Mediterranean, there's just so much you can touch on. And it's been really cool, like I said before, like just learning about different cuisines, whether it be Moroccan or anything from the Middle East or Greece. It's just there's so much to do, and it's like I'm like almost like a kid in a candy store, like, oh, let's try this, and it's just so anytime I get the opportunity where we kind of taste things as a group, as a team, and kind of decide if this works for us, works for our menu. That's been a lot of fun.
So we're really out of time here, but where can people find out about Spice Finch besides Open Table, Restaurant Week? How do people get in touch with Spice Finch altogether to make reservations?
So we are on Resi. So you can go there and make a reservation. We try our best to accommodate walk-ins, but I think mentioned earlier that it's just definitely best to make a reservation for the day that you're trying to come. We do have a bar as well. So if you wanted to walk in, the full menus and the Restaurant Week menu are available at the bar. If you don't get a reservation for the time you want, and yeah, so that's, you know, standard, I guess.
Yep.
But we are definitely filling up pretty good for the next couple of weeks. So.
Well, Chef, thank you for joining us. You know, love your story, love your restaurant. You know, Spice Finch is really you know, one of the great flavors in the city of Philadelphia. Thank you for all you're
Thank you
doing.
very much.
Thank you for joining us on Food Farms and Chefs.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. And you can hear this tomorrow on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Drive Time Radio. And you can find Gene Blum at
IB Foodie 2 or Gene Blum on social media, or you can email me directly at IBFOODIE2 at yahoo.com.
and you can find me at arpolicus at gmail.com or arpolicus at across all social media platforms. And you can always tune in also to find us Food Farms and Chefs or Food Farms and Chefs. Happy Tuesday, everyone.